End of 2002. It was Thanksgiving, and I found out I was pregnant. I was 14. My family decided that the best choice for me was to place my child through Gladney Center. I didn't really have an option since I was 14. My adoption's semi-open, so I get to see pictures and letters, and then now we talk through Facebook, so I still talk to them. The way I chose my family was online. I had found this couple. They had 2 other kids that were theirs, and they wanted to adopt one. So I spoke to his mom. I've never spoke to anybody else, just his mom, through the whole adoption. Then we ended up meeting, and I emailed her a lot. And at 14, it's like, what kind of questions do you know to ask? Like you're a child yourself, so it's like, how can I ask you a question? I don't even know how to parent. So my questions were so silly. When he was born, he was such a pretty baby. He had long black hair and real olive skin, and everyone that saw him fell in love with him. And he cried, and didn't really sink in yet that I had a baby. Throughout the pregnancy, I decided to think that I was a surrogate mother. And I was good. I was holding him, and I was admiring him. He was such a pretty baby. It didn't hit me until they called. And I called to talk to them, and the moment I heard her voice, I couldn't talk. I hung up. And then that's when everything kind of started setting in that this was going to happen, and this was a real deal. The last visit I had some clothes I picked out for him. I wrapped him up in a blanket, and we walked down this really long hall. And we opened the door, and the room seemed huge, like there was all kinds of space in it. And the family was there. Signing papers I thought was going to be the worst, but signing papers was the easiest because it was just kind of, okay, it's over, it's done. And I didn't cry. That built up in me a lot to where eventually I had to talk and get it out. My family didn't talk about it. They wanted to pretend like nothing had happened. And that's when I ended up meeting the wrong kind of people and getting pregnant again. That's a whole different story. Because when you place your child for adoption, you forever have this hole in your heart that you don't know how to mend. And you go through the griefs and you go through these steps. But not a lot of people understand that because they haven't placed a child. I didn't understand that until I met other birth moms. And I found a group. These birth mothers all came through different steps, but the only thing we have in common is that we placed a child for adoption. From the day that I had the worst day of my life to placing my child with a beautiful family and graduating high school, graduated college, and having 4 boys of my own, I know I made the best decision for my firstborn son. It's never going to be something you don't ever think of your child. But now that I've moved on and I'm older, and it's just part of my story.